Welcome back to the Thunderdome, everyone. It's Mikey B.
And Shawnee L.
And we're here to talk to you guys about our BGS and PSA submission number 4. Sean and I have decided to start to pursue doing submissions on a regular basis. Seems like there's a big demand for it in the hobby, and Sean has a really good eye when it comes to identifying cards that would be good for grading. And we have a really good crew with our break group that have been asking for advice and for people to help them with grading. So
yes, I was going to say, not just the hobby, but in the crew that they're looking for grading.
So. Yeah. So we've learned a lot over the last couple months about the do's and don'ts of grading. We are not experts, I would say, by any sense of the means, but we certainly have learned from our mistakes. So I'm going to show you guys our latest submission, starting with what we're sending to Beckett, and then Sean is going to provide some commentary around some common things that we looked for, some things that helped us eliminate. You do see a big stack of cards here. There's actually probably double the size of this that we eliminated from grading for several different reasons. So why don't we start with what we're sending to Beckett.
Yep.
Let me get through the first stack, and then you can talk a little bit about maybe why someone would choose BGS versus PSA, because that is probably the #1 question I get. It's usually which service and what cards.
Right.
So these are in stacks for a particular reason because they belong to different individuals. So these are Brad's cards right here. Some of these cards are going to look really familiar to those of us in the break group, the crew, because we pulled them in breaks, including this wonderful John Morant Black Velocity. We were very happy that this card turned out really, really nice. It's 18 of 39. This one is going to BGS, as well as a Zion Williamson Red, White, and Blue. Very nice Tyler Hero Bubbles.
And it's variation bubbles.
Variation bubbles, yes, exactly. And then the Zion Purple Wave. All right, so Sean, right off the rip, why don't we talk a little bit about, all right, these 4 cards are all nice. None of them have autographs, which is usually a quantifier as to why you would send to Beckett versus PSA.
Right.
So why do we choose BGS versus PSA on these?
So the main reason that we are going Beckett with those is it's a quicker turnaround, for one. 2, basketball season is in full swing. We got the playoffs coming in a couple months. The Pelicans and the Grizzlies are still in the playoff push. So we are definitely going to look to move those. I mean, they're Brad's, so I shouldn't say we are looking to move those. But Beckett is going to be a quicker flip. PSA is going to take longer. They get a lot of cards sent to them, so those are just going to be back quicker in case he is looking to move them.
Our expectations with our Beckett subs is we're doing 10-day subs. That will typically, when you count mail time plus the business days to sub, it will probably take about a month, a little less than a month, which actually is not bad in grading terms. So while we both have our biases as to which service that we like best, if you are looking for something that you want to flip quickly and try to gain or maximize profitability, BGS right now is the no-brainer answer. PSA is taking exceedingly long times. So that's why we decided to do that. The other stack that we're taking, and one of the big reasons why someone might choose Beckett versus PSA, is that when it comes to grading autographs, obviously Beckett having the separate grade is kind of the standard in the hobby. So some of the stack that you're going to see in here does include autographs, including this Cameron Johnson. So not a big rookie, but what makes this card unique is that it is out of 5. So this is my card, actually, and I'm grading this on the potential that, you know, as a young rookie on an okay team that hopefully is up and coming, you know, hopefully in the next couple of years he gets a bigger role. Who knows? He might turn into a role player. He might be a future superstar. Who knows? But to have a very low numbered autograph optic graded rookie is strong. If it grades well, a 9.5/10 or even a 9.10, this could be a really nice card in the future. So I'm grading it on future potential, not for its value today, which normally means I would send it to PSA, but with the autograph, I wanted to put it in Beckett. Same thing. I got these mostly because of flip potential. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to flip them, but I wanted to have the cards in hand before the end of the NBA season. So we have a really nice Zion Williamson Hyper, a really nice Zion Williamson Purple, 2 hollows. I'm very, very excited to see how these grade. Hopefully they do well. A really nice Ja Morant orange. That's numbered to 199. A really nice Ja Morant green. That one is numbered to 149. An orange ice Ja Morant. And then this one I added in. Normally I'd wait, but to be honest, I think this card is going to grade really well. It's in good shape, and I love the on-card auto. I'm a Barkley fan, so I decided BGS. I kind of wanted it in a BGS slab.
Yeah.
Now, Sean, when we were looking at the Morants in particular, we knew right away on both cards, definitely more pronounced on the orange.
Yes.
You guys can probably already see it in the video when I stack them together, that the orange card is definitely off-center. It is off-center top to bottom. So, Sean, maybe talk a little bit about knowing that that one aspect is probably not going to get a high grade. Why would you still grade a card like this?
So the chances with Beckett on that particular card, being that the only thing that we could see, I mean, we did the test of, took a light to it, had the surface, had a jeweler's loop. The surface looked clean to us. The corners were good. The edges are good. The only thing that we obviously caught that stood out was the centering. Basically behind that, BGS could still give that a 9, but everything else could 9.5. So that would still equal a 9.5 grade.
Exactly.
And a 9.5 grade on a card like that is what you're aiming for.
Yeah. With any grading, guys, whether you're sending to PSA or sending to BGS, our philosophy is going to be that when we're helping people with their grading, if we don't think the card is going to PSA 10, or if we don't think it's going to 9.5 or better through BGS, we're not going to send the cards in, because it's not really a good use of time and or money. There are a select few cards where a lower grade isn't going to hurt it. I'm thinking of things like an 86, 87 Fleer Jordan, or a Jeter rookie where a 7 or a 6 is still big cards.
Right.
But when it comes to a modern card, a 9 won't necessarily hurt you per se.
Right.
But it really doesn't help you much either.
Right.
So we're really aiming for those 9.5s or better. So to Sean's point, when you know a card has a very specific flaw that will affect the grade, such as centering, like this is not going to get better than a 9 centering. And what I'm hoping for is a 9 for centering. If the corners were bad, if there was a surface issue on the card, if something was wrong with the edges, we would have said no go. So if this was anyone else but my card, I would probably tell them don't grade it, because the likelihood that this comes back a 9 is just as high as that it comes back a 9.5. So I am sending it on the hopes that it does gem and comes back as a 9.5. Let's go into our PSA order, because PSA is a whole different ballgame. I would say that statistically, it is easier to PSA 10 than it is to get a high grade with Beckett.
Yes.
Beckett's are really aiming for a 9.5. If you get a 10, which I've never gotten on any card that I've subbed, or a black label 10, which is like amazing, that's great. But to me, that's gravy. That's not, very few cards hit that.
Right.
Or you pay for it. I'm just joking. But with PSA, you don't have to have a perfect card to PSA 10. Sometimes you can get away with a little bit. So once again, this stack belongs to Brad. So he chose to send some of these cards for a couple different reasons. Rookie PSA 10s always do really, really strong. See, even the dog agrees. Rookie PSA 10s always do well, and we are assuming that based on a 45-day sub, that we're probably not going to see these cards for about 6 months.
Yep.
That's probably at a minimum. So we're not grading anything where we're like, oh, we really need it like in the next couple months, because we know that's not going to be the case. So when you think about things like when the basketball season ends or when baseball season starts, that kind of plays into the timing aspect. So we have here a Zion Williamson. You're going to see a theme here with the basketball rookies. A variation of Zion from Prism. We have some base rookies here. All these looked good when we looked under the scopes and stuff. Morant rookies. A really nice Ja Morant from Revolution. I believe that's numbered. Yeah, that's out of 149. That's the Impact. Sean and I both really, really love these Lukas. Beautiful cards. Brad actually had 4 of them. 2 of them had issues that we thought we would want to address before grading. But these two we thought were pretty strong, so we're going to sub those. And then into football, this will hopefully get back right at the start of the football season, which is perfect with the Radiant MVP, a Lamar Jackson rated rookie, and then the hollow version as well. So nice ones there. My stuff, some of the things that I'm going to be sending. Once again, I'm kind of doing this with the hopes of next year and long-term future value. So we have some hollow rookies here of Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Tyler Hero. This is already a good card, but to add a grade I think will be nice to that. Kevin Porter, who's playing pretty well for the Cavaliers right now. The Jarrett Culver and Romeo Langford White Sparkle, same sort of thing. Now, I know these cards aren't perfectly centered, so I'm hoping that they might slip through and still 10, but even if they 9, being the fact that they're super short printed to 20, I still think that's not going to hurt them too bad. Have a nice Zion hollow insert. Always like to have my Zions graded. I too am grading a couple of them. I have several Zions, but this was the only one that when we really drilled down, really looked really good. So I'm hoping that one PSA 10s. The rest I'm just going to leave raw. Same thing with my Rants. I had a 7 or 8 of them. These are the 2 best. And then I'm really big on select football, especially field level. So we do have a couple of tie-dyed cards. So they're short printed like this Brady, which is a really nice one to 25, 11 to 25. The rest of these are going to be field level. So to me, these are the select equivalent of like a Prism Silver or a Hollow from Optics. So we have Haskins, a couple, a Kyler Murray, a couple Dan Joneses, Kyler Murray Red Wave, that's out of 199. Dan Jones field level. I'm taking a shot with Easton Stick. I don't know if he's going to be the starter for the Chargers, but he certainly has an opportunity to. And then we have a tie-dye Daniel Jones and the Miles Sanders Zebra card. So once again, this is not normally a card that I would grade if it was anything other than the Zebra, but you pay a couple bucks, whatever, 10 to 12 bucks to PSA it. You take what could be a $20 or $25 card and potentially, zip it up to a $50, $60 card for a small investment if it does 10. So, I try not to do too much commentary. I only know a little bit of your staff. You want to walk through your rationale for this? I know there's a lot of baseball rookies.
Yes, most of my stack is baseball. I've got the Yordan Alvarez Series 1. I've got 2 of those, and then 2 of the purples, which are the Meyer exclusive. Mainly behind baseball, I just look at it as the Trout update. A lot of guys, their true flagship rookie card is becoming the norm to get graded as a PSA investment. So I took a lot of the Series 1 rookies from this year, Yordan Alvarez being one of them, to stash. So
same sort of thing. A lot of baseball investors, what they'll do is they'll get a stash of anywhere from a couple like this all the way up to people that submit 100 or 200 of these cards at a time. And to Sean's point, what a lot of people do is knowing that's a flagship rookie long term is you're just looking for 10s. Any 9s that you get, you sell or you figure out something to do with them and you trade them. But 10s, great stash cards, and you hope Jordan blows up to be bigger than he already is.
And the better the player, like Trout, even the 9s do well.
Yeah.
Kind of comparing that to the 86, 87 Clear Jordan.
Yep.
A graded Trout does pretty good. So
guess we have Vlad here.
That is behind that, it's the second year foil with the gold cup. So any junior collector is going to be after that one, as well as the one behind it, which is the photo variation.
Nice one there.
Yep. And then back to some more rookies here. I've got the Horner purple, and then
several Boba Fett's.
Yes.
Or as I like to call them, Boba Fett's. So there's the Horner purple, and then here's a purple Bichette and several base.
Yep. Big fan of Bichette. Got to watch him in Lansing when him and Vlad were over here, and he can flat out hit the ball. So
Sean, talk about in real-time dollars right now. As a raw rookie, what is the value of this card versus what is the value if it PSA 9 or PSA 10 in today's dollars?
So basically, the base Bichettes are probably $5 to $10 a card, give or take. PSA 10ing it after the $12 investment could probably get you 50 to 80, I'm guessing. And obviously that's going to depend on how their season goes and how they perform.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm doing that with Alvarez, Bichette. We're gonna see some Gavin Lux coming up, as well as the next guy behind Bichette here.
This guy I heard of. I don't know about the rest of you, but Tatis, same sort of thing. I mean, once again, you send some of these in, you hope that they 10, and then if they have a good season or a couple good seasons or turn into another Trout or some really strong player, you have their flagship rookie cards in PSA. So it's not really a huge risk. It is an investment because each card that you grade, you're without that card for a long period of time, and you
Sure.
are paying for the certification and that grading, there is no guarantee that you get a 10, no matter how well we look at it or
Right.
anybody else.
Right.
But the upside is that for a small investment, you could take a card that's not a lot of money, $5 to $10, spend $12 getting it graded, spend the time to get it, and then all of a sudden it's an $80 to $100 card. So
Right.
it can turn into a real nice flip potential. Or some people, like myself, they just like to have their PC cards or their favorite rookies slabbed because the cards look cool. They look really cool. So it doesn't always have to be about the flip game. Grading doesn't always have to be about that. So I noticed earlier you did say Gavin Lux. You do have several available of him right there.
Yep.
So all the same? Are there any variations here?
I believe they're all the same.
Yeah.
Yep.
So as you can see, so let this be a lesson to you guys who don't collect baseball. Gavin Lux, that's the guy right there. Shawnee has spoken. Eloy, same sort of thing, right?
Yep. Eloy Jimenez and then Pete Alonso. And then I too have a Zion.
So one of the things that we'll be doing when we do our grading is that, as you can tell, I'm submitting Zion, Brad's submitting Zion, Sean's submitting Zion. We're actually going to be able to arrange it so that even if 50 people send us the exact same card, we will always know whose card belongs to who, both when we submit it and when we get it back. So you can rest assured that the card that you're sending us is the card that you're getting back, regardless of how many variations that we get of it. So that's always nice to have that kind of peace of mind. A couple of Roberts.
Should be 3 there. Yep.
Very nice.
So he's already got an extension. He's still in the minor leagues. He's projected to be up in time to be a rookie in Series 2. And those chromes are like $20, $25 a piece right now. Doing the investment, they're bringing around 70 to 80. So
nice
to have those, and I think with him and Eloy, the White Sox are going to be a good young team.
Yep. And your last one, something a little bit different, a little older card, a Prestige 2013-14 Giannis.
Yep. Behind that, I could go quick flip, being that the Bucks are the #1 in the East, but I've got a nice stash of Giannis rookies at home, and I feel like you can't go wrong having a PSA 10 or even a 9
no.
Giannis rookie in the collection.
No.
So.
And it should be noted that Sean does prefer PSA over BGS for most of his subs, too.
Yep.
So when given you can't really go wrong either way, Sean, you're usually going to choose PSA.
Yeah.
I might actually split it. So, I might send some to BGS one time and some to PSA. I can't. I have no patience. So BGS to me is good because I'd rather take the risk that PSA 10 might be easier to get, but that I get the card back sooner.
Right.
Just because I have had some PSA subs that have taken an extreme amount of time.
Yep.
And it's almost like you forget. It's kind of nice when you get the cards back, but at the same time, I had some cards that I invested in PSA that I was hoping to have at the beginning of the football season last year. And those guys did perform very well, like I thought. The problem was I got all the cards at the end of the season, and the market window is already closed.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of keep that into account. The key, I think, with grading is that you have to have patience. If you don't have patience, if you're someone that needs an update every single day with where's my card, what's going on, or whatever, grading might not be for you or whatever. But we understand that the grading industry in general is complicated. Look, even it's making the dog.
He agrees.
Yeah, it's complicated, and a lot of people don't know what they're doing, so we're here to help. So look for us in the future to put out information about our subgroups, how to get involved, cost, timing, all that good stuff. That's still a work in progress. We're sending out these 2 groups as a test run.
One more thing I wanted to note, I think you mentioned something about it at the beginning of the video, is usually I wouldn't do baseball now with PSA. But the fact is that 2020 Top Series 1 was just so loaded with rookies. I want to get the movement process started. And the PSA 10s, I own a Trout, and it's kind of like every set now, 1, 2, and update, I send for PSA 10 rookies.
Cool.
So I just, and usually with baseball, it's a longer season. So, you know, there is a potential that they come back before the season is over. But yeah, usually I don't send the sport mid-season or even at the beginning just because you won't get them back PSA.
Right.
So, but I made a what if here, and we're gonna hope that some of these baseball rookies come back before the season ends.
Yeah. So look forward to a future video where we'll have our BGS reveal, hopefully within about a month or so. Our PSA, I think we're going to probably split some of the order to do a 25-day and a 45-day. So that 25-day is probably going to run 3 months. I think that's about the timing.
I think so.
The 45-day, we're going to expect about 6 months. So we'll have the reveal video. Every time that we do a sub, we're going to try to do a video so that everyone can see the cards that are going. I think it's cool to share. I know that I watch a lot of the videos, both reveal and what they're sending.
Mm-hmm.
I like to hear why people are sending what or some of the things that they're looking for. So we'll continue to communicate that. And then keep an eye on MikeyBcards.com or my Twitter and Instagram page, Sean's as well, and we'll get that information out to the crew, to anyone that's interested in doing grading.
Yeah.
So looking forward to the next video. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe to this one. Pound that like button. Hit that subscribe for us. We'll have new content here in the next couple days as well with a whole bunch of stuff. So appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. For Sean and myself, Mikey B, we'll see you guys in the next one.